Hello, all the beautiful nurses and internationally educated nurses. This is Theran from Future Building Nursing Prep Center. I am nursing advisor, and this presentation is in regards to nursing profession in Canada. And if you are aspiring and you have a dream to become nurse in Canada, so this presentation is for you, and this is from the beginning. So, what is nursing in Canada? Like, how many different types of nurses are there in Canada? So we have three kind of nurses: registered nurses, registered psychiatric nurses, and licensed practical nurses. So registered nurses are those nurses who write NCLEX exam, and they can work anywhere, like in long-term care settings, acute care, and even in specialized areas. And registered psychiatric nurses, they are trained to work in psychiatric hospitals, mental health clinics, long-term cares, and community-based settings. Whereas licensed practical nurses are the nurses which write Canadian practical nurse registration examination, and they can also work in both acute care as well as long-term care. So why do you think you have to become a nurse in Canada, or what are the advantages of becoming nurse in Canada? First of all, it's very competitive remuneration, and which means you make very good amount of money as a nurse in Canada, and you get flexible schedules to work, so you can have a family and a work-life balance. And there are so many health benefits which is provided to you and your family being a healthcare worker. And then of course you have great pension plans. So moving on to our next slide. So what's the earning potential? That's the question which we always get. So the earning potential is variable. So salaries of RNs and LPNs and registered psychiatric nurses, they range anywhere from $40,000 to $90,000, depending upon your location, education, and the level of responsibility you are dealing with. So this is a kind of a chart, and you guys can have a look. So for example, and this is for the registered nurses. Just looking at the average wage. So for example, let's say Calgary approximately, and these are the approximate wages, guys. So Calgary is around $42.61 an hour. And if you're in Winnipeg, you make around $40 an hour. So that's a kind of a chart which gives you a brief introduction. So who we are. So we are Future Building Nursing Prep Center, and it was founded by our director, Dr. Harpreet Sagar. And our vision at Future Building Nursing Prep Center is to help you guys achieve your ambition. And we have so far assisted more than 500 international educated nurses in the span of 2 years with NNAS application process and their preparation with CELBAN, CPNRE, NCLEX, IELTS, and OSCE exams. And we have got many successful students, and our goal is to help 2,000 more by 2020. So you must be thinking how we can achieve that goal. We can absolutely achieve that goal because all our programs are online, guys, and we have students from Ontario to Victoria, British Columbia. So we have students from all across Canada. Moving forward, let's just get to our NNAS application processing, which is a question most often the students they ask. So what is the role of NNAS? So NNAS stands for National Nursing Assessment Service. So it's a Canadian non-for-profit organization that offers a streamlined process for internationally educated nurses to submit their documents and provide them with the tools to apply the Canadian nursing registration. So what is the role of NNAS? So NNAS, what they do is primarily they receive and store all documents which are submitted by you. And of course, they are also checking the authentication of your documents, and they're making sure that those are real documents. And of course, then their job is to analyze and match them and see your credentials, like what percentage of your credential is matches to Canadian standards. So, and after that, they certify that each nurse's file has all the documents needed before they are sent to the Canadian nursing regulatory bodies. Like, let's say if you're applying to CNO or CARNA in Alberta or to the Manitoba Nursing Board, so whichever you're picking. So, who can apply? So, that's another question which we get very often. And any internationally educated nurses who wish to work as nurse in Canada must set up an account with NNAS before submitting an application. So you can start this process from back home, And if you know that you are in a process of moving, this step will save you time. Okay. And anyone who is internationally educated nurses, irrespective of their status in Canada, because some students, they have misconception that if they are a student, they cannot apply to NNAS. So NNAS has nothing to do with your status. You can apply even if you're a student, worker, or on a visitor's status. So application process is basically 3-step, guys. You have to set up an online account, complete the online application, and pay the required fee. You have to follow their instructions regarding which documents to submit for verification. And once you complete your file, NNAS will evaluate it and give you access to an advisory report which contains your evaluation. And then once you receive your evaluation, then you apply to the nursing regulatory body, and then you pay the application fee, and that's how your process basically starts. There is no shortcut. There is no other way to become a nurse in Canada. So what documents are required? That's another question we very oftenly get from the students is, so you must submit 2 forms of identification directly to NNAS, and it has to be notarized, and copies of original documents. So in Canada, notary can be done by the notary public or a lawyer, but if you're sending your documents from outside of Canada, then it has to be done by the government approved official. So nursing, so you have to submit to them is number 1 is your nursing education form. So once you fill your application with NNAS, then they will give you basically 3 forms to download. So this is the first form, which is a nursing education form. So you download that form, you sign, date, and then send it to your college, and then your college will fill the rest of the application form and then send it back to NNAS. So the second form is the nursing registration form. Same thing, you will download, you will sign it, and then you will be sending it back to your nursing registration form, nursing registration body in your country where you did your nursing from. And then that particular registration department will directly send this form to NNAS. And lastly, the third form is same thing. It's your employer form, which you need to download and again sign and send it to your employer where you work as a nurse in your back home. And then your employer will fill the rest of the form and send it back to NNAS. And of course, you have to submit your English results depending upon which province you're applying. And again, your results has to be directly sent. Your results has to be directly sent to NNAS by the language testing center. So what is the fee for NNAS? So all fees are in US dollars. So main application order is for $650. And this is valid for 12 months because if you don't update your file after 12 months, it's kind of expired, and then you have to pay a renewal fee to again bring your file back into the action. So this is kind of a main overview about NNAS. So if you have any questions, then you can give us a call, and our number is 306-316-0411, or you can visit us at www.fbnpc.com, or you can also follow us on Facebook page, Future Building Nursing Prep Center. So I hope this little video was helpful for the beginners, and we'll kind of keep on making some more videos to help you guys, okay? So take care and Merry Christmas.